Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. And today, in very exciting stream to some extent, because it looks like Thomas Partey could potentially be staying, which is quite fantastic news. It looks like Arsenal are going for another shock transfer. Well, not going to. Basically, we are linked with another shock player, which I never expect to see again, because I'm gonna kid you not, we have been linked with him before. I just didn't expect it to happen. I genuinely did not expect that to happen again, because it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like he could be the answer. But it looks like maybe Arteta and Berta think otherwise. Who knows? And of course, some other bits and bobs here or there. Andre Santos, we are linked with another Chelsea player, so take that as you will. Take from that what you want, and let me know what you're thinking in comments in the live chat. But yeah, of course, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, aiming for 500 subscribers as soon as possible, and let's get straight down to business. Big up Nathan, he was here. What are these Koundé links? Dude, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't see even Koundé leaving. If I'm not mistaken, a few days ago I even read that Koundé said he wants to stay at Barcelona, so what the hell is this all about? Like, that for me is the big question. And Koundé is predominantly playing, is he a right back even? Okay, he's a center back and right back, but I don't think Koundé is not the answer. Let's just put it that way. Koundé definitely is not the answer if you ask me. But today we're kicking things off with this. Arsenal have announced that there will be a cannon-designed tifo that will be suspended from the roof of the Emirates Stadium in the North Bank, which has never been done before ahead of the game against PSG, which is quite ironic given the fact that there was also a fundraiser, I think, for which basically collected £12,000 to get another tifo in the... Well, I think it was the North Bank as well. Maybe that's why it got rejected. Maybe it was the clock, and I don't remember. It was one of the ends. But yeah, it looks like Arsenal are going all out. We have seen from Arsenal do things they don't do before. They have never done it before. It looks like Mikel Arteta and Arsenal in general have taken the rule book from partially MLS, some sort of a Italy Serie A type of situation, sort of a Bundesliga type of situation. Because Bundesliga is very well known for these tifos, insane fans and fan songs as well. Same goes for example, Anfield, Liverpool. They have a anthem, but that's a bit different story, obviously, behind it. So it's a very interesting thing to see how this is gonna develop. I'm kind of curious how that tifo will look, because the Thierry Henry tifo as well, it was cool, but you could see that there were some things not throughout fully. Let's just put it that way. So I hope that Arsenal have their kinks worked out for it, and it's gonna work. I generally hope so, for their sake. Let's just put it that way. For their sake, I hope it's gonna work out. But it's a nice touch. It's genuinely a nice touch. I'm really interested. I wanna see. Let's do some funny business as well. Not like that, but you get what I mean in a second. The analogy regarding Arsenal. Title races with Arsenal is like playing FIFA against your little brother. You know they ain't gonna beat you, but it's always entertaining watching them cry about how and why they should have won. Basically that, to a T, let's be real, describes Arsenal's fan base, isn't it? Every single season, oh, this is our season, we're gonna win the league, Arsenal are gonna come first and everything and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, season comes to the second part, Arsenal are not first. At the moment, we are 13, 14 points behind Liverpool, and all of a sudden, oh, but the injuries, oh, but the red cards, oh, PGMOL, referees, VAR, Win the Dog pooped on the pitch, and Martinelli in the attack slipped, and all this stuff is coming all of a sudden out. All of a sudden. Like, it's genuinely, it is like that. It fully, and I kid you not, it fully is like that. So this was a tweet that really caught my eye today, so I kind of wanted just to include it in the stream just for the sake of banter purposes. Let's just put it that way. But here we go. Here comes the big news. One of the big news. I don't trust Defensa Central, first of all, but like, we need to discuss these things. Let's be real. We need to discuss these things. Obviously, Arsenal want Gyökeres. There's no argument about it. It's been quite widely reported that Andrea Berta is a massive fan as well of Victor Gyökeres, so there's no denying that as well. And Arsenal had the chance, if they paid 100 million, well, 97 million pounds or 95, they could have signed him last summer. We didn't, hence we are paying the price right now, but that's a different story. We're not going to get too much into that right now. However, obviously there's also news, and it looks like it's very, very true, that Viktor Gyökeres's price this summer specifically is going to be about 70 million pounds, which sounds great on paper, right? At the same time, it puts so goddamn many teams into play, because there are 10 times more teams that can afford to pay 70 million rather than 100 million. Let's be real. Arsenal are one, Real Madrid. I have seen links with United, Chelsea, Barcelona. Who else has been there? Even Nottingham Forest, some weird goddamn extent, but that's a different story. And it's actually kind of nuts. Obviously, as I said before, I don't trust Defensa Central, because that is a bit of a rough one, basically, to follow and trust. But apparently Viktor Gyökeres would prefer a move to Real Madrid over Arsenal this summer, and has asked his agent to try and negotiate a deal first with Real. Now, first things first. I don't trust Defensa Central, as has been said about 50 times already in the span of about 3 minutes. Second of all, we have seen this before. This is all PR, basically, to get more money. That's what it is. Get bigger salary. Let's be real, there's no denying about that, there's no arguments about that. Because this is what teams pull, and more specifically agents pull, regarding certain players, which want basically bigger agent fees paid off to them, and that want bigger money for their client, which obviously stands to a point. So I don't trust this whatsoever. It's more of a PR move, as I said, because of the wages and money that Gyökeres could be getting. Because how many times we are hearing, oh, he's linked with this, he's linked with that, and he goes to the team he's been linked before, he signs. About a week later, news come out, they were never interested in him, that second team. They didn't even call the agent, didn't even call the owners. Nobody, they didn't call anyone. So I strongly believe that this is more a PR move than anything, and I think nothing will materialize out of it 100%. I don't want to trust this, and I'm not. I'm just going to put it that way. Partey lifetime contract, because they ain't no party without Partey. Gyökeres, you bastard, the man could have gone Sesko, done Osimhen, Retzegi, 60 mil done, and you don't do this to us. I don't think it's the thing. I genuinely believe it's a PR move, because we have heard this before. We had this about Sesko to a certain extent as well, hence why he got a new shiny deal. Extra release clauses, more money for RB Leipzig if anyone signs him. So that worked out well. And same goes for Declan Rice. We signed Declan Rice for 105 million. Man City were interested apparently. Fair dues, they kind of were, until 70-80 million, right? But the links with Bayern Munich, the links with Real Madrid were total utter crap. They were not real at the end of the day. So these are the stunts where with the big players, with the big agents basically pull just to get bigger payouts. I strongly believe in that, and there's nothing more to it in my opinion. So don't get too annoyed with this situation going on here. This was the shock of the day for me. This for me was the shock of the day. Now, first things first. I don't watch Ligue 1. I don't watch Strasbourg. They're doing well in Ligue 1. That's all I know. Let's just put it that way. I have no goddamn idea how Andre Santos looks on the pitch, how he plays, and what he does. Right? I know he's a midfielder, that's about it. Now, the biggest issue with this is, why the hell again we are basically going and digging in Chelsea's dustbin again? That for me is the biggest question. Why again we are going back for sloppy seconds? Why the hell are we doing that? Can anyone realistically explain me this? Why again we are going for someone's sloppy seconds? Why? Wait, give me a sec. I need to fix something. I don't want you to see. But yeah, why the hell are we going for him? Can anyone actually tell me, is Andre Santos good? Can he do the job? How is he looking at what's its face? Strasbourg or what? Let's do it like the top Gunners are doing. Where is FOTMob or SofaScore or something like that? Let's go, FOTMob. Andre Santos. Andre Santos. Let's see. Let's go to these nerds and let's see what these nerds... Average rating 7.74. Can play as a 6, as an 8. 9 goals, 3 assists in 28 games. Okay, that's about it. On average, he gets what? He gets 7.47 rating, 7.7. He got 6.8 in a loss against Andre, 6.8 against loss against Monaco. I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking too good. 6.8 in a loss against Reims. 6.4 against PSG, so that's already not looking good. And otherwise, yes, he had the rough preseason and everything, but overall, yeah, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, at the end of the day, would you take him? How much was he? About 50, 60 million the price was quoted at. Like, what the hell am I reading here? Seriously. And what for Andre Santos, Chelsea players again? Like, exactly, we are funding Chelsea's FFP and PSR issues once again if we sign him, basically. That's what we did with Havertz by the looks of things. The thing only about Andre Santos is the only thing, he's how old? He's 20 years old, he's a number 6, and if Partey stays for one more year, for example, Partey signs 1+1 type of deal, I wouldn't be against for Partey to play, and we sign a youngster, well, like Andre Santos, something like that, who basically is an understudy for him. Studies under him, learns the craft, year, 1 year, 2 years, and then he comes into place when Partey leaves. That I can get behind, but overall, I'm not too sure. I know he's been great this season, but what the fuck, he's from Chelsea. We have too much Chelsea players, man. I'm tired of signing Chelsea, Man U, and Man City players. And the worst part is, we sign players from Chelsea, Man U, Man City, and we always sign the worst ones. We never sign the best ones. But when we look the other way, they get our best players, you know? Fabregas, well, technically no, but at the same time, Fabregas, Van Persie, Nasri, they always get our best players. Make it make sense. Seriously, make it make sense. Is Doué playing today? We can check. I think PSG are playing as we speak, so we can check. PSG are losing 1-0. First of all, Morgan Sanson scored legit 2 minutes ago. Lineups, here we go. So the lineup: Donnarumma, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, Menge, Ruiz, Vitinha, Neves, Doué, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia. So pretty much a starting 11 that PSG actually are gonna put out against us. Vice versa with Barcola maybe, but otherwise I think this will be the 11 that PSG puts out against us. And currently they're losing 1-0 against Nice. Now that's not looking nice for them, is it? Nice wordplay. I think I'm funny, but I'm not. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's actually kind of nuts. Actually kind of nuts to say the least. Andre Santos, back to this guy. Anyone can tell me, is he actually very good, or is he just hype merchant, or is he just like FOTMOB sofa score merchant, or what? Yeah, big up G-Star. Big up my guy. Damn, what is going on with PSG? Quadradula, the Milan units scoring. Exactly. What is Nice? Now, Nice is actually very good. If we look at the standings, Nice are 4th in the table. They're fighting for Champions League. Nice actually are a decent team. They are owned by Ineos, aren't they? So that they are actually a decent team. Nice are a good team, so they are 4th currently. If they win this game, they are 4th. If they lose, they are 6th. If they draw, they are still 6th, so that makes no difference. So basically, they have to win against PSG. Let's just put it that way. They have to win against PSG. So yeah, that's what it is. He's not shit, but by any means. But we funded 85 million Chelsea for King Kai and for Jorginho. True. And Andre Santos would be another 60-something million. I know it sounds like an issue, but this will be a weird take. Of all the 3 players, right? Havertz, Jorginho, and Andre Santos, I would sign actually Andre Santos to some extent, rather than Jorginho and Havertz. I'm not gonna lie. But the issue is, I have not seen him play. And that for me is a big worry, so I cannot speak too much on the player. Anyone can tell me, is Andre Santos good? I know he's having a good season. Ligue 1 fans are raving about how good he is for Strasbourg and that Chelsea have a gem on their hands. Chelsea fans as well are kind of giddy about Andre Santos and him playing in the team next season. But if he's on the table potentially, would you be okay if Arsenal actually signed him for about 60 odd million? We are. I think Arsenal own Chelsea something. That's why we're always going for Chelsea players. Well, there are these rumors like, when was it? I think it was before we moved out of Highbury, right? That Chelsea basically did some deals with Arsenal just so Arsenal we don't go bankrupt, because we needed more money. The amount of places seats in the Highbury were not enough, so Arsenal had to basically think of something. So that's why we moved to Emirates, because we needed more money. But ultimately, Chelsea kind of saved Arsenal for kind of going into debts or bankruptcy, not bankruptcy, but in massive debts and stuff like that. There are some rumors like that flying around, and it feels like we have been in debt to them now ever since. But I kind of don't want to trust that, but there are actually some talks that it actually could be true, so go figure. Just literally go figure. But Andre Santos, this is I'm putting to you, everyone in the chat. Would you take him at Arsenal? Like, put the fact that he's from Chelsea aside for a second. Would you take him at Arsenal? That for me is the main question. Main question. Yeah, why not? See, for me, the biggest thing is, we're gonna speak on Thomas Partey in about, I would say, 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. If Partey signs this new deal, right? Maybe 1 year plus one extension, potential 1+1 type of deal. I actually would be okay with Partey playing, and we sign someone like Andre Santos as a backup, as an understudy, who learns the bits and bobs of Arsenal's tactics, who learns how to play under the system, who learns from Thomas Partey and everything. And then when Partey goes, he actually steps in. I'm not against that, let's just put it that way. Just the question is, Andre Santos that good, so we actually do it? Well, our squad depth is so low, that's a completely different story. Because let's be real, we're gonna sell some players this summer. Some are leaving on free because they're loans or we are not extending their contract. So ultimately, it's bad enough that even with this squad we have right now, we need about 4 or 5 players. And now actually factor in that we need about 5-6 more that gonna leave, so to actually make it even to some extent. So it's a massive issue. That's the massive issue in this regard. We need about 9 players this window to sign. We need to sign in summer about 9 players, and we obviously never gonna do that. Let's be real. I don't want no more Chelsea players, no Man U players, no Man City players, no Spurs or Liverpool players. Go abroad and get us some different same old clubs we buy from. Yeah, that also is bad, definitely. But let's be real, if you had a chance to sign, for example, McAllister from Liverpool, would you say no? If you had a chance to sign Haaland from City, would you say no? Like, serious talk, you wouldn't. So it depends on the player, let's just put it that way to some extent. Yeah, we don't have squad depth whatsoever. Chelsea have like 51 players. Yeah, the injuries don't worry them. They have kind of like 2-3 different squads. One squad plays in Conference League, one plays in Premier League. They have like squad for every cup basically. Spent 1 billion on a bunch of players. They have basically bought players for the future, and they can also flip them if they want to. They're gonna at least make about 80% back, whether you want it or not. They basically are buying into the potential. That's what Chelsea are doing. They're doing a shotgun approach, and they are just going for, it is what it is in that regard. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. I absolutely get that. Big up, Andrew. Big up. I'm totally tired of signing substandard players. Exactly, and Arsenal are going to do that this summer. The question is, what kind of level they're going to be. McAllister, yes, see? I would say Santos, he's like Gilberto. He has the Brazilians, so... Wait, what did I say? Well, basically, this is what Baptista said on Arsenal and Thomas Partey, basically. I think for Arsenal, Thomas Partey has been an incredible player. In Partey, Arteta has found a player that understands what he wants. If I'm Arteta, I'd renew his contract, but also bring in another player and put him under a bit of a pressure, make him sweat. Put a player behind him in the pecking order who can start to understand how he plays and what he does for the team and ease him into the action. See? That's what I just said. See? Great minds think alike. I know he's older, but I believe that his age shouldn't be a decisive factor in whether or not Arsenal give him a new deal. I think it's the injuries that's the decisive factor. Players are much and the amount of wages he wants probably. Players are much fitter these days. Look at what Mo Salah is doing. He can still be a top player in great physical condition when you are in your 30s. For me, age is not a big problem. The big problem is always if the player still has the mentality to be the best at that age. The mind is the most important factor, and I think with Partey, he could still produce the good for Arsenal for a few more years. And to be honest, I totally agree with Julio Baptista here. Fully agree. 100% fully agree. The question is, if we extend Partey's deal, who are we gonna sign to be his understudy, basically? Who is gonna be that? Who's gonna be the guy who's gonna sit and breathe down his neck, just to basically put him under pressure and take his place when it's necessary? But we have squad depth for midfield though. Just Rush that doesn't play them under in front. Less of this. Seriously, less of this. Seriously, less of this. Have a brain cell. Sorry, but have a brain cell. Like, serious talk. Have a brain cell. By your logic, on Tuesday against PSG, Arteta should play Salah Dean, Max Dauman, and Jimmy Gower. Like, make it make sense. Like, seriously, it's not always the youth. I get that we need more youth, some youth getting promoted into the team, but we need experience in the team. We don't have winners in the team. We all have losers pretty much in the team. Ball jobs in this. Like, seriously, we need some winners in the team, and the fact that we have none, let's be real, that basically says it all. And the manager as well, half-ass player and half-ass manager. And for defense, we don't have no academy center backs, and that's bad. Yeah, that's the thing. We have actually some center backs, but they are in under 16s team, so it will be about 3 more years until they could get into the first team overall in general to hold the bench. So it generally be 4 or 5 years. So that is a big issue. Definitely a big issue. In the league, I can see that. In the league, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, stuff like that against smaller teams, maybe when we are 3-0 up, that I can agree upon. In general, no thank you. Big up Ojo. Big up. I'm not crazy. PSG what Kukas do. Yeah, you'll say that, but they're losing to Nice currently, so make it make sense. Make it make sense. But for this, I totally agree with Julio Baptista 100%. Well, here is this one. We all know Juan Garcia. Allegedly, Arsenal want him as a backup. Allegedly. Because since Andrea Berta has come in, there have been numerous reports suggesting that Andrea Berta thinks Juan Garcia as the secondary goalkeeper is not the right option. So it is what it is. But apparently Manchester United, who have very big goalkeeper issues, they got rid of one of the best goalkeepers in Premier League, who basically is, to some extent, is carrying Fiorentina this season, to basically get a guy who has no hands in Andre Onana. So, United have made... And on top of that, United want to sell Onana, but nobody is buying him. Nobody wants him. That's even worse. But Manchester United have made a contact with Espanyol goalkeeper Juan Garcia's camp to make him an offer. That's a weird one. That's definitely a weird one, interesting one in that regard. You can never count PSG on... Yeah, exactly. That's one thing, definitely. With the attack and the way PSG plays football, and especially in semi-finals, you can never count them out. Big up, boy. Big up. I see you in every single chat. You're a madman. I genuinely see you in every single chat, and it's kind of nuts. Obviously, I'm just lurking when I'm at work, but during the day because I cannot log on, but I see you everywhere. I struggle to see why wouldn't we need to send... That is the biggest thing. Obviously, competition is good for the team, right? But the goalkeeper situation is one of those where you kind of can let it slide, to some extent, right? But we have Hein. What's going to happen with Carl Hein? I don't know. Obviously, it looks like we're going to sell him because he has aspirations to play, so it might not actually happen, right? We have 4 goalkeepers in under 21 academy. What is that about? I have no idea, but it is what it is. But if we sign Juan Garcia, right, we genuinely would be on the verge of having, sorry, another Raya Ramsdale situation where one gets pushed out if he performs good, one gets benched, and sooner rather than later he gets exiled from the team, pretty much. And that is something I don't want. Let's be real, that is something I don't want. So obviously time will tell. But yeah, I agree with Boy Tendio. Genuinely agree. I kind of don't see it. No, I mean during the day. Genuinely during the day. I don't remember, was it Potts' stream, Deluded Gunner, or somewhere. I know I saw you in like 2 streams today, at least. Like during the day, whenever people stream when I'm at work, obviously. And that every day I see you somewhere. I mean, Martinez had no chance saving Duez going, yeah. But to be honest, let's be real to some extent as well. See how we say Martinez is crap, we pissed off, but let's be real. From all the goalkeepers we have had since Arteta has come in, you could make a pretty much very strong case that Martinez is the best one, whether you like it or not. Like, that it is what it is. Be objective. Put Arsenal bias and his expressions, what he has said aside. Obviously, Arteta couldn't handle his antics, so he would get exiled from the team eventually. But overall, Martinez kinda is that goalkeeper Arteta basically screwed up with. And the fact that we have had, I think, 7 or 8 different goalkeepers since Emi Martinez kind of shows you that Arteta is still having PTSD, and he kind of feels that he messed up with that situation. Obviously, we have now Raya. See how that goes. But for me, the Raya situation, two things pisses me off with Raya. First, his height, but you cannot change that, so it is what it is. Because he's too short to be a modern goalkeeper to some extent. He's like Ochoa, basically. But the second thing is bloody that he plays on the halfway line. It really bothers me. He got lobbed by Maiteta just 2 days ago. Neto got lobbed by Danjuma against Girona when we played. And I'm kind of scared that it's going to happen against PSG as well. Because that is set up by default by Mikel Arteta and his tactics. And if one wrong pass, and let's be real, those players on PSG have massive amounts of quality, and they will lob you even from halfway line. And that is one thing that really pisses me off. Really. Because the goal that Mateta even scored, Raya was outside his own box. Like, what the hell is he doing there? Like, that thing is really, really pissing me off. You can see that sometimes when we lose the ball, he's running back, scrambling and everything. It's really scary hours. He looks like Kivior. A tiny bit. I will give you that, a tiny bit. Yeah, true, but Arteta doesn't know how to make good transfers. If it's in Chelsea, Man U, or Man City players, he doesn't know. Yeah, it's usually Spanish or leftovers in someone else's trash can. Genuinely. We go on a raiding mission, see what trash other teams have, and if we see someone that fits the system or is the right profile, we go and sign them. And the worst part is when we sign them, we paid them top dollar. We paid them even over the odds. Like, where does that make sense from financial point of view? You don't go to an outlet store and pay Prada prices for some sort of, I don't know, Kappa sneakers. You don't do that. Like, what is this? I was almost on Terry's stream. Yeah. Terry's stream as well. Yeah, Terry's stream, definitely. I think I saw you on Terry's stream for sure. Yeah, for sure. Wait, where are you hearing that? Yo, G-Star. I need proof. Where do you see Nkunku to Arsenal? Yeah, wish we had so many goalkeepers. So knowing Arteta really thought he could still tell Martinez that Leno would be starting. Exactly. We've had so many goalkeepers. So basically, think about this. We had Martinez, Leno, Runnison, Matt Ryan, Matt Turner, Karl Hein, Norberto Neto, David Raya, Aaron Ramsdale. I have named 9 goalkeepers already since the Martinez, since Arteta came in. Who else did we have? Who am I missing? He has obviously played Porter and Setford, so that's 11 technically, but we don't count the youth in this equation. Let's just say it as it is. So I have named 9 goalkeepers. In 5 years, 9 goalkeepers. That's every single season you get 2 new goalkeepers all of a sudden. Like, where does that make sense? That's where the striker money has gone, by the way, partially as well. No, hell, keep away. Yo, Robo, check the rumor. No way, hell, man, he's shit on attack average already. Here, Max. Nkunku, I see Nkunku. I get it. Chelsea fans overhyped Mount talking that he's clear of suck old guy when bro ain't even on Yeri level. Well, every single fan base has these things, let's be real. Every single fan base. All respect to Igal, by the way. The way he does his thing, it's insane, borderline funny, and I borderline can see some sense to it, but sometimes it's just insane. Arteta is an architect and everything, and he gets triggered by the word rebuild. That is kind of nuts as well on its own. But it is what it is. Like, what? Like, I'm sorry, I need to check this now. You got me all riled up, I'm not gonna lie. Nkunku and Koundé to Arsenal. What? Sorry, but what? Breaking. Arsenal and Bayern Munich are interested in a summer transfer for Christopher Nkunku, according to Chelsea Football Club, whatever that is. Fabrice Hawkins. Nkunku is expected to leave Chelsea this summer. Arsenal and Munich were both interested in the player in January and are expected to return in the summer with offers to see also the race. What the hell? Here's another injury-prone player we're gonna sign, isn't it? Another one was Koundé, right? According to Jordan Davies from... Hey, yo, who is trusting Sun Sport? What the hell? Jules Koundé has emerged as potential defensive target for Arsenal. His versatility, massive advantage for Arteta. He has a fetish for that. Who is ready to make 55 million offer. They want about 70, 80 if I'm not mistaken. To be honest, Koundé has said he wants to stay at Barcelona, by the way. And who trusts Sun Sport, by the way? The Sun. Hello? Wake up. Arteta wouldn't play the goalkeeper. If he didn't play only the halfway line. Arteta's idea of what goalkeeper should do is when possession a little bit cooked. To be honest, yeah, he's using... Like, I get it to some extent, but that works with only specific goalkeepers, right? It kind of worked with Victor Valdez for Barcelona. It worked brilliantly for Germany and Bayern Munich with Manuel Neuer. But Manuel Neuer was training with the main squad, not with goalkeepers alone, but with the main players, Müller, Ribery, Robben, all these guys, alone himself, training his passing, shooting, long ball distribution, everything. He was doing all that. And he was obviously the ultimate sweeper keeper to some extent, an ultimate goalkeeper who does that. That I get. But the way we play, it's utter madness. Any goalkeeper he brings on is going to concede mad goals where people are shooting into empty nets. Yeah. Like, we were not even pushing the goalkeeper that much out. Ramsdale got lobbed by Pedro Gonçalves against Lisbon 3 years ago like that. And he was in the middle of his own box. A bit forward, sorry. Raya got lobbed by Mateta and he was outside his own box when the ball literally was 45 yards from the goal. All these clubs do is overhype the players. Yeah, we do the same thing. Don't do the double standard though. We all do this thing. We overhype the players and all this stuff. Bro wasn't even fit the whole time. He was there. Exactly. Chelsea basically scams us, but they're so-called world-class player. I'm not gonna lie. Rather sign Andre Santos from Chelsea, who is on loan at Strasbourg, than Nkunku. I'm just gonna say it now. Personally, I would buy some players from Rennes. They always have a great wonder kids like Doué, Chef Camavinga. Who else was there? I'm just thinking like randomly. We are linked with just about everyone, man. It's like It's like they have our shortlist or something. You see, if it was shortlist, it would be specific players, about 7 of them. Since we are linked with everyone, we kinda are just back to Wenger days. Remember the Wenger days when we got linked pretty much with every single player and every single team? I'm still waiting for Zogbia, Young Villa, Hussein Mawar, Julian Draxler to arrive. Still waiting to those. Like, it's actually insane. I did the math last summer, by the way. Last summer, we were linked with 172 players. Seriously, 172 players. And we signed of the 172, 2 of them. Juan Garcia to big up Red Skull. Juan Garcia to Arsenal. So well, looks like he might be going to United based on this. Villa, you know, we are still gonna sign. One day, maybe. Maybe one day. Solomon Kalou coming in, dude. Don't even. Big up social joins. Big up Solomon Kalou, you know. That's a guy. That's a player, you know. And here's the big news. Arsenal are prepared to offer Thomas Partey a new deal with different salary structure compared to the current one. Well, isn't Partey on like 230 grand a week currently? Would be nice to put him on like 150. Thomas assessing, oh my goodness. Assessing all options on the table with Arsenal now keen on keeping him. Well, we'll see how that's gonna go. Links don't bar me so far as we can get. As I get that. As long as we get the, for example, if we get, for example, it's June 1st, this window opens, right? June 1st. If it's June 10 and we have signed already Gyökeres, I'm cool. I'm kind of cool because that partially will sell my nerves and that will show that we are serious. After Club World Cup, we can sign 3 more players, for example, and all that stuff. Like, we need, because the transfer window this year, due to Club World Cup, is split into 2 halves. From the 1st of June till the 10th of June, and then from 16th of June till 1st of September, right? If we sign player before the Club World Cup, I will be over the moon, because based on the links I see, Zubimendi and Gyökeres should be done before Club World Cup. Genuinely. Because Zubimendi has already signed since February. From what Sam Mokbel and all these guys are telling us. David Ornstein and them, right? The way we are linked with Gyökeres, he's pretty much here as well. So might as well by June 10th they're gonna be here. I think, by the way, Victor Osimhen. Why are we not linked with Victor Osimhen? That's another question. I think we need 5 players to be signed. The thing is, we need 5 players to sign, at least in my opinion, right? Right now. That doesn't include the players we're gonna sell and the players we need to sign to replace the players we are selling or they are leaving for free. Because we already have about what? 23-man squad. We're gonna lose about 7 players, including the loans and expiry contracts, about 7-8 players, which leaves us with 15-man squad. We signed 5, we have 20-man squad. We need another 5 players. So that is the other thing. Will we sign 10 players in one window? I have no trust in that and belief. Just give him same deal as Jorginho. Jorginho is on what, 120, right? Something like that. If he accept that, 1 year plus 1 year option, 120 grand a week, This party U-turn is telling me that we probably aren't confident in getting the... Yeah, definitely. That I'm totally getting. Because the way he gets talked about in Real Madrid and everything, I kind of believe he's going to stay in Spain. I think he's going to stay in Spain. Because in Spain, if he stays, same culture, close to family, same style. With Real Madrid, pretty much guaranteed trophies and everything. So he's golden. He's going to get good pay. And it looks like Real Madrid might be selling Chouameni as well this summer. So he's going to be golden. Let's be real. And for him to move to Premier League, plus he needs like 1 year and all that crap to adjust, as people are saying. Arsenal don't have time for anyone to adjust. You either come in and you perform, or you're done. Arsenal don't have time. The window of opportunity, more or less, is almost shut already of winning Premier League. because City is gonna be back. Liverpool are gonna get stronger. God knows what's gonna happen with Newcastle, by the way. Nobody knows what's gonna happen with Villa. At some point, as much as I hate to say this, United and Chelsea might get their shit together in 2-3 years. Maybe. And by that time, that's it, top 4 once again. And we start once again all over it. The only transfer that matters is the striker. I get that. I think we definitely need a striker. That's one of the priorities. But for me, it's also the midfield. And left wing, maybe we'll see. But for me, it's the midfield. We have no creativity from midfield. Legitimately zero. And it doesn't matter if you have Ronaldo, Messi, Ibrahimovic, whoever up front. If we don't have creative spark in midfield, we're gonna do nothing. And we don't have that. Oh, Odegaard's our creative spark. Yeah, we are seeing that very well. And that is a big issue. For me, midfield is a big issue. Because Declan Rice from the 8, from the deep end, that's another creative spot where we should have someone like Cesc Fabregas, someone like Aaron Ramsey, someone like Rosicki, someone like that who can distribute the ball, see the play, make things happen, make it tick and everything. And we have none of that. Rice doesn't possess the necessary traits to do those things. And I think that is also a big, massive issue why many times we cannot do anything against low block to some extent as well. My issue with Gyökeres is his aerial ability. Osman eats up at all those... Yeah, true. I totally get that. I totally and utterly get that. Time will tell. But if we sign Sesko this summer, the rant stream that I'm gonna do, it's gonna be insane. Genuinely. It's gonna be nuts. Ultimate head loss to some extent. Same goes for if we don't sign a striker even. Imagine if we don't sign a striker. Imagine the scenes. The only thing that I'm holding on to be honest, is the fact that if you look at Atletico Madrid and the strikers they signed, Andrea Berti in 12 years did a phenomenal job. So I kind of have a trust in him that he's going to make the right decision for the proper striker at Arsenal. So hopefully we get the job done. Partey won't go down in salary. He will just get the same wear and deal as Jorginho. Partey has to go down in salary. Because, if I can find it, you will see why I'm saying this in a second. Premier League, salaries, Arsenal. See? Wait. I'm gonna move it so you can see, right? But I'm gonna then adjust it backwards. Look. Thomas Partey is on 200 grand a week. Jorginho is on 110 grand a week. If Thomas Partey has to stay for 200 grand a week, and all that, you know, it definitely not gonna be good. It definitely not gonna be good in this regard. Rather get rid of Havertz, Jesus and Odegaard. 100%. How is Odegaard on 240 grand a week? What has he done to deserve that big of a salary? Like, serious talk, what has he done? Like, seriously. What has he done? I don't accept us not signing Gyökeres now, to be honest. He is must sign. True. But would you be annoyed if we sign, for example, Osimhen instead of Gyökeres? Would that be that big of a disappointment? Let's just put it that way. No Cherki, Baleba, Lukman, Buemo. No Prem players as well. Apparently we are allergic to signing some of the best Prem players in the smaller teams. We are allergic to that. Ruiz for Cam Osimhen. Fabian Ruiz is not leaving, unfortunately. If our system can squeeze 13 goals out of Havertz, Gyökeres is scoring 30. That would be the belief in that, let's be real. That's the thing we should be holding on to, because I don't know if you have heard me say this, but I don't know if Arteta can even coach and train and manage a striker. Because when he just signed for Arsenal, Arteta, He had Golden Boot winning Aubameyang. He put him on a left wing. He won us FA Cup. After that, he disappeared. Terminated contract. Lacazette did nothing. He hasn't signed a proper striker. Jesus is a winger. Havertz was a midfielder. So he hasn't done that. He extended Nketiah's contract. That has gone well. And at City, when he was there, the cone man, let's be real, they didn't have an out-and-out striker as well. They sometimes played Zinchenko there, sometimes Sterling there. Even KDB, I think, once or twice played there. Jesus on occasion, but he mostly played wing there. And they had Aguero on occasion, Aguero mostly, but still, it wasn't enough. And when Arteta left, we bought from them Jesus, we bought from them Zinchenko, which basically funded them signing Haaland to full extent. All the money that they got from us for Jesus and Zinchenko fully paid for Haaland. And after that, Haaland wins them Champions League, wins them Premier League, top goal scorer and breaking records. Nah, man, get that striker. We've been waiting for 3 years. This is critical position. If we don't get that position, yeah. To be honest, if we don't sign a striker, sack the manager instantly. But more or less, yeah. Doué for it. We are not signing Desiree Doué. You can forget about it. PSG will demand 150 million. You have the money? Like, seriously. We have the money for that. Partey will be on 200k. It will only be on the books for 1 year at a time, so it looks good on books. Most likely. Something like... It will be a 1 year plus 1 year option, which basically won't show up in the books unless you trigger that 1 year option. That's how it's gonna look, basically. That's how it's gonna look. Arteta doesn't like strikers, he just likes 4-6-0 from pretty much, yeah, 4-6-0, and then you just winging it from there. Someone from the midfield runs into the box and maybe he can score a tap in. He likes that, yeah, the fucking hell. PSG better sell down and give us this. They're not. 100% they're not. Not sure how true this is, but Arsenal and Liverpool are both interested in signing Murillo, who Nottingham Forest value at just shy of 70 million. Not sure what to make of this, because I really like Murillo, I'm not gonna lie. At the same time, Murillo more screams an Edu signing than Berta signing, so that might be something from Edu's notebook still, right? However, I'm not too sure. Like, to be honest, if we sign Murillo, we could rotate more often Saliba. That is the good thing in this, let's be real. And thinking about Saliba, Murillo, Gabriel backline, I'm actually quite comfortable with that. The thing is, 70 fucking million. That is the biggest issue. 70 million for this guy. Seems hella steep. 50 for Hausen, if you want him. Or 70 for Murillo, if you want him. Like, yeah, I'm not too sure. By the way, just out of curiosity, how much I'm just curious, how much Murillo is on salary-wise? How much Murillo is on salary-wise? Oh, bloody hell. Murillo is on 40 grand a week. 40 bloody grand a week. That's kinda insane if you ask me. 40 grand a week. Now the question, would you take Murillo at Arsenal, by the way? Like, serious question. Would you take Murillo at Arsenal? You wanna, I'm pocketed our whole freaking team. If we had gone 74th at home, we would have been. Think about it this way. Arsenal have drawn 13 games. 13. 9 of those games have been from winning positions, which at the end of the day means we have lost 18 points. right? 18 points. And if you add those 18 points right now, we would be 4 points clear of Liverpool. If they win, we would still be 1 point clear of Liverpool. Think about it that way. Even we were 1-1 with Brighton. We have 1-1 with Havertz, he screws it up. Havertz crosses to Saka, Saka cannot get the ball. Partey misses header from in front of the goal, empty net. Against Everton, I think it was. Or Fulham, something like that. Like, we had so many opportunities. Like, we basically, if we did the job in summer with signing a striker, or even in January to some extent, we wouldn't be in this position, let's be real. But the incompetence of this club and the board to some extent, it's costing us. And let's, like, nobody's getting held accountable, that's the worst part. Housen should go to Chelsea, he will get time there instead of being... Yeah, that's the thing. Teams that are interested in Housen, right, is Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Newcastle, if I'm not mistaken. And Real Madrid, right? In Real Madrid, Real Madrid, let's take out the equation for a second. For Arsenal, he's not playing, he's on the bench. For Liverpool, he's not playing and he's on the bench. He's not playing instead of Konate or Van Dijk. So his best options are Liverpool and Newcastle at the end of the day. Not Liverpool, Chelsea and Newcastle, sorry. Hell no, you want our rivals to get him, you know what we'll do to Chelsea, be able to actually defend. That's like giving Chelsea a good winger or... Dude, you cannot escape this. Someone is gonna sign him. You cannot influence this. Because if, by your logic, we should sign every single player that makes other teams play better. There's not enough money in the world to sign every single player to one club. Like, that's the... By your logic. Exactly. You can't get every player, so all of a sudden, if... what's its face? For example, Man City, right? They want to sign Rodrigo, 120 million, they're ready to pay. Arsenal have to sign Rodrigo. Man City want to sign, let's just say, someone else. Arsenal have to pay them. Like, that makes no sense. Like, to be honest, Chelsea have basically gone for a shotgun approach. Because if it works out, phenomenal. If it doesn't work out, at worst, they can sell the player for about 70 to 80% of the value. At worst. Because of the age, potential, and all that stuff. So they have gone for a shotgun approach, throw the shit at the wall, see what sticks, and if it doesn't stick, bye-bye. That's what Chelsea are doing. And they actually might win something this season. Anyways, back to Andre Santos. Arsenal are interested in Andre Santos, 20 years old. By the way, anyone in the chat, does anyone watch Strasbourg or Ligue 1? Freaking, where is Strasbourg's team? I've seen him in many chats. Wish he watched my channel. Maybe he could shed some light on him, how good he is. How good is he this season? Because I can only go from sofa score and all that crap, and it tells you nothing besides stats. I need in-game performance, basically, descriptions to realize this. Arsenal are exploring situation with sources informing caught offside, not most reliable, but is what it is, that they're not entirely committed to going back to Chelsea next season. Oh, Andre Santos doesn't want to go back to Chelsea. Well, shocking display of things. The player could be available for a fee in the region of £45 million. That's actually cheap. £45 million. That is very cheap if you ask me. 20 years old. Like, worth taking a punt on it, I'm not gonna lie. That is the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. However, for me personally, if Partey stays, signing maybe Santos is not the worst thing, right? Signing Santos might not be the worst thing because he can learn from Partey, and then when Partey leaves, he can step in. To some extent, right? The issue is, it's a Chelsea goddamn player. We are again going through other teams' trash bins and finding their scraps. Finding their leftovers they have thrown out. And that really pisses me off. Because the situation we are in right now, and the players we need to get rid the most right now, are the players from those teams we have signed. Jorginho, Havertz, Jesus and Zinchenko. All are the trash bin players when we found from their leftovers. That thing really pisses me off. I don't want these rejects. Andre Santos has potential. I'm gonna give him that. Right? From what I have heard. I haven't seen him play, so I cannot give you any estimates and everything. But it's Chelsea, that's really bothering me. Especially Man City. Yeah, Oyedeji played for under 21s today and scored. Big up to him. If Chelsea say no, they're gonna mooch off us again. I'm tired. Yeah. I don't want to give Chelsea. That is the thing. That is the biggest thing. I don't want to give Chelsea money. They are in trouble with FA, with UEFA, with PSR, FFP, and all that crap. All these buzz abbreviations and all this stuff. Don't help them out. Let them suffer. Let them get transfer bans for 50 years and everything. Let them suffer. They exploited gaps. They cheated. Let them. If you don't do the crime, if you're not ready to do the time, that's about it. We are not buying any Chelsea player. Berta's definitely. Berta is not that rubbish. To be honest, there are two players I would take from Chelsea. Two? Wait. Yeah, two. Maybe three, but the better option is two. I would take two players only from Chelsea, ironically enough. I want a striker, winger who can play both wings, a center mid who can play DM, a cam, and a left back who can play center back. No, I don't want a left back who can play center back. I want a center back. I want out and out center back. One thing that really pisses me off that we have these makeshift Swiss Army knife type of players in this team, almost in every position. Because I don't know if I'm old school or what, but I'm a firm believer in the fact that there are certain positions on the pitch where you need specialists. They play only that position and that position alone. Whether it's goalkeeper, two center backs, number 6, a striker. Those positions need to be those positions. Wingers you can swap, wingbacks give or take, number 8, 10, number 6, 8 maybe to some extent, but you should have the spine of your team solely specialists. Because Wenger never asked Patrick Vieira to play right back, let's be real. Thierry Henry didn't play left back instead of instead of Ashley Cole. Like seriously, where does that make sense? Like, think about it. We need about 7-8 players. That is the worry part in all of this. We need so many players, it's actually worrying. Because it all is leading to the fact that it's not salvageable in one window. Oh, and here's another one, by the way. This is another thing. This is another player we got linked last summer or 2 summers ago, and now we're linked with him again, apparently. Arsenal and Spurs, mind you, are set to go head-to-head in the race to sign Sporting midfielder Morten Hjulmund. Again, haven't watched Sporting enough besides that one game. Anyone know he's good or not? Northside maybe could answer that. Not old-fashioned, you just like things left complicated. People built for the job. Wait, you just like things Wait, not old-fashioned. You just like things left complicated. People built for the job. Yeah, people built for the job. At least through the spine of the team, the core. You just like things less complicated. Yeah, now I get it. For me, it's just the spine of your team that holds everything together, right? You should have specialists. Because then for example, then wingers can swap, don't care. Wingbacks, more or less also can swap, don't care. Number 8, number 10, they interchanged, for example, for Arsenal, they both play both positions, all fine. But the things that basically hold all together, they should be. That's like me working in a firm as an accountant and they ask me to do, I don't know, client support. Like, I can do it, but that's not what I'm good at. I'm good at accounting. Like, that's my main strong suit. I wouldn't be against seeing Diomande as the ball-winning defensive midfielder. Isn't Diomande a center back? Or is it's the other Diomande? Wenger and a coach like Arteta don't respect. I know. If Spurs want the player, I don't want that player. I get it. This is like them signing Højbjerg. That's something like that. Another Danish number 6. Basically. Now the question, he actually has been decent for Sporting, I cannot lie. That is the big thing, at least based on stats. That's all I can go off, because again, I don't watch Portuguese league. I know nothing about that league. Besides players and some games I randomly can watch, and it's also mostly the big games like Benfica, Sporting, Porto, Braga, Porto, Sporting, Porto, Benfica, and all this stuff. Hell no, good thing boy Tsendi. If Spurs want to win, this guy has an Arsenal tattoo. If he seriously, Højlund has a... seriously, he has? Don't screw me over. Oh, he has! Holy crap! He has an Arsenal tattoo. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? He goes to Spurs and he has Arsenal tattoo on his arm. Wouldn't that be something? Any player Chelsea, Spurs, Man U want, let them go. I mean, pretty much. Unlucky for him that Spurs want him. Yeah, basically. But let's be real. That basically is telling you that if Arsenal went in for him, he will immediately say yes. What's wrong with this kid, man? You went from Haaland. Not everyone needs to be from Haaland to have an Arsenal tattoo. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, that's kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie. It is kind of nuts. Hjulmund. I barely can say his name. Partey, new deal. And basically, this is Arsenal's season. This is Arsenal's season in a nutshell. Pentagon, hexagon, octagon, tilegon. This is Arsenal's season, let's be real. There's nothing else to say about Arsenal's season this year. Only we have all the eggs in Champions League basket, and that is already a bit worrisome given the fact that Merino might not even play on Tuesday. Obviously time will tell, but for now it's not looking too good, is it? But yeah. Overall, yeah. Some interesting news regarding Arsenal. Wait. One thing we must check. PSG were losing to Nice. They're still losing to Nice. Only 1-2. It was 1-0 from Sanson. 1-1 from Ruiz. And Sanson scored again instantly in the beginning of the second half. Barcola and Zaire-Emery came on. And the interesting part is PSG put out their best team. Obviously, to some extent, you have to add context to this. Because PSG have already won the league. They have only two things, either the Cup or Champions League. So they kind of can mix and match this stuff and go from there. Right? So they kind of can only focus on Champions League. Arsenal, well, can do the same technically, but knowing Arteta and based on the lineup we put out, they're not gonna. It's actually insane. See? We have a chance. This is the lineup. Donnarumma in goal. Menge, Pacho, Marquinhos, Hakimi backline. Midfield of Ruiz, Vitinha, João Neves. An attack of Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, and Desiree Doué. Desiree Doué just came off for, well, 10 minutes ago, came off for Barcola. And João Neves, 10 minutes ago, came off for Zaire-Emery. And they're losing 2-1 to OGC Nice at home. Seriously, PSG are losing at home. And if PSG lose, they're not gonna win the league as invincible. PSG are, at the moment, still going for invincible. If they lose, they are not going invincible. Potentially. And Nice are fighting for top 4 for Champions League, so they need this win desperately. This is one of the games they could definitely do the job. So for now, it's actually kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually kind of fun. Yeah. It's actually kind of nuts, to be honest. PSG with their best 11. And y'all said it's fun. Well, to be honest, cannot deny that. I can never take PSG serious. That is the biggest thing. the interesting part about this is, though, there are only two teams who have never won Champions League in the semifinals. Both teams play in the same bracket. It's Arsenal and PSG, which ultimately at the end of the day means that one of the teams will have a chance to win it. Let's just put it that way. One of the teams will get a chance to win the Champions League. And also, both teams are going to be desperate to do it. Arsenal's history, it's not that good looking in this regard. PSG, well, with all the money they have spent, holy crap. PSG started winning the league in 2012. Really? Before it was Lyon and Marseille, wasn't it? Cup history. Europa League, FA Cups. So, ooh, they won the cups. Copa da League. Through the champions. Let's look at this. So here we go. They have been French champions 13 times. They have won since 2012, so 12 years. Well, 13 years. Well, 12 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. From the last 12, 13 years. 13 years they have won the league 11 times. Holy fuck. Seriously, 11 league wins out of 13 tries. That is actually kind of insane if you ask me. PSG failed to make any meaningful UCL progress with Messi, Neymar and Mbappe. Joke team, true, but to be honest, to some extent, this is a weird thing to say. 3-1. 3-1 by the way. Nice have scored again. This is not a drill. I cannot even pronounce that. Ndayishimiye scored. Whatever that guy's name is, he scored basically. But yeah, Luis Enrique has built his own mini PSG Barcelona team, hasn't he? They kind of are mini PSG. Enrique has done it, hasn't he? His MSN now is Barcola, well, for example, Doué and Dembele Kvaratskhelia, or Barcola Dembele Kvaratskhelia, right? His Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets is Ruiz, Vitinha, Neves. His Jordi Alba is Neves as left back. Menj, sorry. His Dani Alves is Hakimi. His center backs is the same. Goalkeeper Valdez is Donnarumma. So obviously worse than MSN and that Barcelona at the time, but it's like the mini version, and it's working for him. There's no argument about that. He got rid of all the stars. He went with youth, best French talent, and sprinkled with some gold dust as Arsenal got sold a dream at the time, a few years ago, let's be real. And he actually is doing things. He actually has built a team instead of stars. PSG is not a prestige club, not even original yeah, PSG is not even the original Paris team, by the way. Football started in 2012 for PSG. True. This is nuts. No one is gonna mention the Zlatan era at PSG, the Beckham era. All the excellent players they're tricked into signing for their... Don't forget Mikel Arteta, by the way. Mikel Arteta used to play for PSG with Pochettino together. Another manager, thumbs up. USA national team manager currently. PSG had... what's its face? Ronaldinho, Lavezzi, Di Maria. Who else was there? They have had lots of ballers over the years. Thiago Silva, why he stayed at PSG for so long as he did, it's a mystery. David Luiz and everything. It's actually kind of nuts if you think the players, even Dani Alves, the players they used to have. It's actually nuts. Yeah, JJ as well. They're losing in real time to this, exactly. If we don't beat these lot. To be honest, in Champions League there will be more motivation to play. Because we both haven't won it, ever. PSG have won the league already. They have little to nothing motivation as well. They basically won they have won it. It's confirmed they have won it. They don't care pretty much, yeah. Arteta was at PSG at the same time as Ronaldinho was there. And he hates flair players, exactly. And think about it, Mikel Arteta was a midfielder, yet he cannot identify a midfielder to save his life as well. Paulinho, Lavezzi, Cavani. He has an insane amount of good players. Verratti, very underrated midfielder in my opinion. Verratti. He plays in Qatar right now, if I'm not mistaken. But he's very underrated. Also, different foul threshold in Champions League. Yeah, true. 3-1. Kinda shocked, I'm not gonna lie. 3-1. Lol. But yeah, anyways, guys. I think we have covered everything for today. We have done everything we wanted. Talked about transfers, laughed at PSG, discussed potential situations, contracts, and everything. You have been freaking fantastic. Thank you all for all your likes, comments, everything. If you haven't already, by the way, subscribe and like the stream and leave your thoughts down in comments below after the stream has ended if you're watching this as a playback. Have a nice evening. It's Friday, so we can chill and relax. I'm gonna have a cold beer right now, so that's gonna be nice. It's gonna go down like fine wine. But yeah, for today, I am out. So have a great evening. Enjoy tomorrow. See you all tomorrow, and hopefully it's gonna be something very, very positive. Take care. Enjoy your evening.